Day 5 update of making my sweater for my husband, and I messed up one of my long tubes, and I realized that after I had completely cranked out all 270 rows. But it created an opportunity to make a video on a cool technique that I learned a while back that I thought I'd never use and didn't know why I'd ever want to cut any of my tube projects. So what happened is when I started to crank out this tube is I didn't look at my notes when I started cranking out my colors. So my first color I use is black, and it should have been 45 rows, but I only did 40. And then I went to my multi-gray black color and I only did 40 rows again, where it should have been 45. Once I got to the solid gray, that's when I started to look at my notes, and I ended up doing more gray than I needed. I did an extra 10 rows, and then I did 45 of the multi, 45 of the black, to make a total of 270 rows, but I have too much gray. But this first half, these are too short with the black and gray, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my tube in half, because fortunately I need two smaller tubes that are half the length for my middle tube panels for the sweater. So I'll be able to use this bottom half, and then the other half that doesn't have the correct amount of rows for my black and my multi-gray, I'm going to make a hat or something like that out of it. So this is called like a safety cord. I'm using just an extra piece of yarn that I had and my darning needle, and I'm picking up half of a knit stitch going all the way around the tube. And what this is going to do is it's going to, when I cut my tube in half, is wherever I have this safety cord done, it's going to prevent this row from dropping anymore. So as you can see here, here's my V-stitch that I have, and all I'm doing is picking up one side of it right here. And I do a few at a time, and I'm going all the way down the length and around my tube till I get to the other side. So now I have my safety cord on both sides for each side of my tube, and you can see the middle rows of the gray. Those are the ones I have too many of, I don't need. But now I'm able to cut my tube in half, which is going to make all these rows drop once I have it completely cut. Once it's cut, I'm going to find the end of the yarn and I'm going to pull it, but it will stop me once I get to that safety cord. So I can't drop more rows of the stitches than I want to. Now I will say, before I cut my tube in half, I counted and recounted and recounted and recounted again to make sure I have the correct amount of rows for the tube that I'm going to use for my sweater. So just a caution there, before you cut anything, just always double, triple, quadruple check your counts. So pretty cool technique that I thought I'd share. It's not something, again, I thought I would ever need to use, but then I found a use for it. So it's kind of neat to have in your back pocket just in case. Thank you so much for watching my update video, and happy crafting.